Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking all things Strava, how to use it, the features it has, the things you can use it for. We're going to dive straight in, covering all the things relating to the Strava app. Let's go. So yeah, welcome back to Let Running UK. My name's Adam and today we're doing an inside vlog. The weather's grim at the minute. I'm not going to be able to get a vlog I've planned whilst out and about running, so do an internal vlog. So today we're going to be covering all the things relating to the Strava app. But yeah, drop in the comments before we even start what apps you use for running. You don't necessarily have to use the Strava app. This is just for those that are dabbling in running and maybe have started using the Strava app. Again, most of my videos are kind of aimed at newer runners, trying to share best practice, hints and tips. But yeah, if you use any of the other type of running apps, again, drop in the comments which one you use and why. And yeah, just to preface it before I begin, I do not pay for the Strava subscription. So there's a free, obviously it's a free app, Strava, with lots of features on it, and then you can pay for additional features. I think it's about £55 a year, so it's not like sky high pricing. Generally about £1 a week you would pay, but I do not take that option up. Predominantly, one is cost. I don't want to pay the 55 quid. Secondly, all the data that probably gives me is already on my watch. So obviously I invested in a good quality sports watch, GPS watch, and all the data that Coros provides on its app will basically be duplicated in Strava app. So that's the main reason why I do not pay for the subscription. So today, yeah, I'm just going to go through the app, the kind of main parts of the main features I think runners should know about, how I utilise it, and all the things I look at when I'm on there. I'll generally refer now to the mobile app. I sometimes use a desktop app, but not very often, and I just find the mobile app is probably more user-friendly, a bit more intuitive. So yeah, as I'm talking, I'll obviously put some kind of video up next to me now as I'm talking about each of the features, so you can see it on screen. So yeah, the main features, obviously from the home screen itself, when you first open up the app, that's basically the activity feed for every kind of group or person you kind of follow. So any of your groups or friends, etc. on the app, that'll basically have a feed there now of all the activities they're up to. And obviously you can scroll down that, see what people are up to, people in your groups, like say friends or family or whoever you may have followed. And again, that's when you can provide kudos to other people. So again, give them a thumbs up for a workout, etc. So not only is it a tracking app in terms of data for your own activities or other people's activities, it is becoming more of a social kind of app as well, where you can obviously comment on other people's activities, like them. I think recently they've just integrated in-app messaging now, so you can message directly to each other as well. Again, there are things I don't often access, the messaging stuff especially, I don't particularly access that. But basically, yeah, the home screen is just there to basically see other people's activities, give them kudos, comment, etc. Moving on to your own profile, if you click on your own kind of icon profile image at the top, that jumps you to your own profile page. Now on there, basically it gives you a weekly overview at the top in terms of your weekly mileage, weekly time, but basically gives you a quick overview there in terms of what week by week, and you can scroll back and again you can see the kind of graph trending upwards, downwards or whatever, but it's a good little kind of visual representation of your training. Just underneath that, obviously you've got your activity tab, so then in there again you can go onto your own recent activities, so it's basically similar to the home feed, the activity feed, but instead of that being everyone, this obviously yours on your profile is just your own activity feed, so you can scroll back and refer back to any recent runs, or again you can scroll back as far as you want. But basically just shows your recent activities for the previous few weeks. And below that again, what the bit I generally next look at, again I don't look at some of these other tabs because again some of them are premium only options, paid extras, which I don't have access to. So the next one I look at is generally my statistics. So again you open that up and you've got basically stats about your year to date, how many runs you've done, how far you've covered this year to date. You've obviously got the previous year and you've obviously got a lifetime stats as well. A bit further down you've also got your PBs listed there in terms of your fastest times. So again, the stats I generally look at just to compare and contrast. You can refer back to that PB run to see where you did, when you did it, how you were feeling. You can look at all your data, which I'll get into in a second. But yeah, I like to just refer back to my own stats. Again, they don't lie. I do enjoy a bit of data because again, you can kid yourself of how you feel and how you think you did, but your stats are there, black and white. I do refer back to them quite often. So yeah, a little bit further down, so you've got your gear. Some people don't utilise this feature. We'll just get a pair of trainers run and don't worry about it. I generally put all my running trainers on there. It helps me to kind of track my usage. And so obviously every time you log a run, you can pick the footwear you're wearing for that particular run, and it'll add that onto the log. And then basically I set a reminder. Again, some people maybe not aware of this, but you can set a reminder at 500 miles or less or more, but any kind of mileage figure, and then basically you get an email when you hit that figure in that particular shoe. you get a quick reminder email telling you it might be time to replace them. So I always put that up just in case you lose track of how many miles you've done in each particular shoe, especially if you're like me and you've got a bit of a rotation. You could easily lose track of how much running you've done in it. So the gear tab's there, that's quite useful as well. And for any cyclists out there, you can also add bicycles onto that, so you can obviously add your cycles if you've got more than one, or the cycle you've got, and basically again you can track your workouts. And yeah, just to finish on the profile page, underneath that you've got your trophy case, which is all the digital badges you may have achieved through all the challenges, which I'll move on to in a second, and any clubs that you've joined, which again most are free to join. Some of them are private clubs on Strava, but most are just open and available for you to join. And once you do join, obviously then all your activities go onto that group. You can probably post stuff onto the group sometimes as well, depending on permissions, but that's basically the profile. Just moving quickly on now to the few other bits of features I generally access. So you've got the clubs kind of tab, which again you can search for any clubs. You might be a member of a running club, you might be a member of a work-based running group, anything locally or community-based clubs. You might want to start your own club, etc., which I've done. So again, anyone wanting to look out and search for the Lark Running UK Run Club, that's on there. Again, free to join. Basically just a small group of people at the minute, viewers and subscribers of the channel, but again open to anyone to join. But again, that's the way I track as well. I can't obviously keep track of everyone's workouts and activities. I generally go on there on a regular basis, scroll through and give people kudos on all their running and all their training they're doing. So yeah, if you feel free to join that club. But again, there's a range of clubs on Strava. Join, all pretty much free to join. So I say some have got restrictions, but again, that develops that social element if that's what you want to get from Strava, above and beyond just the workouts and the logging and the tracking of your own training. So the clubs are there, and also the challenges. I generally have a scroll through them on a regular basis. Again, just join the challenge. It's often like a distance challenge, or so many days per week challenge, or a elevation challenge, or a specific distance like 5k, 10k in the month. And again, every time you complete a challenge, you get a digital badge, which again just stores on your profile. Some people like to build up confidence and basically achieve some challenges. It gives you something to aim for sometimes if you've got no specific training in mind. Sometimes a little challenge on Strava just gets you kick-started and helps you start your training. So just to move on now, I'm basically going to quickly go through how to record a run. Some people still would utilise the app itself. So again, on the app you can go to the maps, and then basically once the GPS has been acquired via your phone, you can start a run and you can record it via the app. I'm not sure, again, drop in the comments if you're still doing that. I'm not sure how many do that still with the kind of progression of running watches. I generally do it on my watch, and again, you can now sync up a range of watches to Strava, so Garmin, Coros for definite. I'm assuming Sun 2, probably Apple Watch, and maybe a few other brands. Again, I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm pretty sure most would be able to sync up now with the Strava app. So again, I record via my watch, but you can do it via the app. And again, you can also, there's a premium feature, you can also plan routes on the actual app itself. Go on the maps, plan a route on the app and save it as your route. Again, I don't have that option. I use a third-party app. I generally use Komoot, which is another free app. I'll plan my route on that and then sync that to my watch, and I'll run off that. But again, if you've got the Strava app and you wish to pay for the premium features, then again, mapping is part of that. And then basically once you finish your run, obviously save the run, and then when you go on the app, basically just go on the edit. Again, you can edit the name, the description, you can add photos and videos, and then basically all your stats and data are on there from the run you've just completed. And again, look back at that. I generally look back at my runs post-run, compare and contrast to how I felt on the run. Was it successful in terms of the planned workout and what I actually achieved? And again, all the data's there. I'll go through that now. So yeah, post run, once you've saved it, I was kind of like scrolling. I like to scroll down, and basically in the results part, you've got best effort. So again, your kind of best time over a certain distance. So not generally 400, 800, I think a K, 5k, 10k, half marathon, depends on how far you've gone. They'll give you a best effort for each of those distances. In terms of on that actual run, it's not your best effort PB. It's just the quickest 400 metres of all the run will be listed. The quickest 1k of the whole run will be listed, or a mile if you're running in miles. And again, that's another feature I didn't mention. Again, the settings, you can alternate between Fahrenheit and Celsius, because I know some people living over in America and Canada will probably go off the weather in Fahrenheit. In Europe, it's generally Celsius. And then again, same for miles and K. Whatever your preference is, you can switch it. I didn't realise that myself. Mine is generally displayed in Ks because I run in Ks. But someone else who runs in miles will see all my data and workouts in obviously their setting as in miles. So no matter what your run setting is, that's what you'll see all people's runs in. Underneath your best efforts, there's the segments. So again, if you've covered any segments, which again are basically logged parts of a run, so anywhere again on maps as a premium feature, you can start to name a segment or plan a segment, so a specific from point to point, that segment can be logged. And if you've run through any already set up segments, they'll be flagged up as, again, on the results page, the segment you ran, how far it was, the time you ran it in. And again, if you repeat that segment, you then get a badge in terms of bronze, silver or gold if you've run it quickest, second quickest or third quickest of that segment. So it's another little feature there. You can, again, if you run the same loop or you're starting out running and you're running different parts of the area, you'll start to pick up some segments. And again, as part of that, you can also favourite it. So you press a little star in the corner and that would favourite the segment. And if you want to go back and try and revisit that segment and get quicker, it's a good way of tracking that progress as well. Quickly moving along, so yeah, obviously underneath that you've got the split. So again, I generally have my elevation and heart rate again listed next to that, but it basically shows you splits per K or per mile, again depending on what you're working on. Beneath that you've got your pace breakdown, so it's a bit of a zigzaggy graph and shows you kind of the pace you've maintained. Again, people's pace will fluctuate regardless of how good you are at running or not, and people are going to struggle to maintain exactly the same pace, especially on undulating ground, up, down, hills, etc. would make it even more pronounced. As part of the pace, you get your average pace for the whole run and obviously your fastest pace at any point in the run. Beneath that, you've got your heart rate breakdown. Again, displays generally is your average heart rate and your max heart rate, which again is good to compare. So again, if your average heart rate is quite low, it shows your training is pretty good, you're quite fit in a minute. If your heart rate spikes quite high on a similar type of run if you've done before, that can often be seen as potentially being unwell, illness coming on, or maybe even overtraining. So it's just good to refer back to your heart rate data on an infrequent basis just to see where you're trending. Are you getting fitter? Are you getting not? Are you overtraining, etc. And just the last few bits on the results bit of each activity. Some people don't look at all these. I don't generally look at all of them. But so there's the running power, which again I don't hold much kind of interest in. Yes, it's kind of obvious that if you're running quicker, you'll display more running power. If you're running up a hill, you'll display more running power. If you're running downhill quite slowly, you'll display quite low running power. But it's there as a reference point if you wish. And the other things is cadence and elevation graph. Again, I generally just look at them just as again point of interest. Elevation gives you obviously the amount of hills you've climbed or gone up or down, and your cadence is obviously steps per minute, which I do hold a bit of credence with. It's been proven that the higher cadence, as in above 170, 175, is the most efficient. So I always try and keep my cadence, especially if I'm not on an easy run, try and keep it above 170 if I can. But yeah, they're the last few to pick up on. So that's basically a quick whistle-stop tour of the Strava app. What I do, the features I look at, the main kind of features that runners should be kind of looking at or interested in. If you're trying to track your training, some people just use it as a log, others will be a bit like me, like a data geek, and will want to dive deep into the data. It gives you kind of clear pictures of your trend in terms of you're trending upwards, getting fitter, getting faster. If not, again, the data doesn't lie. So if the data shows that you're not getting fitter or faster, there's probably a reason behind that. If you're trying to get fitter and faster and it's not showing that data, maybe again that's the time to tweak your training. So I like the data because again it doesn't lie to us. It is black and white and tells you what you need to know. Just the last thing to touch upon. So I basically use the free app. There is some bits that are locked out for me that I don't have access to. So just going to quickly cover the premium features. So if you were to pay the extra, which I don't, basically you get this is a couple of additional analytics and data. So I said some of the pace data, power data, and some of the segment data. You can look at your best efforts on each segment. If you have the additional paid features, also like I mentioned earlier, route planning via the maps. You can go on the actual. It's probably convenient. You can go on the actual app itself, plan the route, save it to your profile as one of your routes, and then when you go back into the app, if you wish to run that route, it's already pre-planned. The distance, the loop, the time, the direction, etc. would already be in there. So that's probably quite a convenient feature. But again, I do use a third-party app, which is why I don't need that. And then the other thing that's probably quite important, or would be probably beneficial to some people, is the beacon feature, which is a safety feature, which basically just displays your real-time location. So if you ever to go off trail, for example, or go further out, or maybe you're running at night, that beacon feature would display your real-time location. So if anything happened, or you tripped, fell, came into a bit of bother, people would be able to quickly find you because that beacon does display a real-time location. So they're the main additional features you would get from paying for that premium subscription. But again, I personally think for most people, the free app itself is plentiful, gives you plenty of data, information, activity tracking, like I say, social elements. You can follow the people you know or people you wish to follow. But yeah, basically that's it, wrapped up as in a nutshell. Drop in the comments, I said, if you use Strava, do you like it, do you not like it? Is there things you'd like to see changed? It does often update and things do change, but yeah, I've been using it for a number of years now. I've tried other ones, like I said, I've tried the night running app, I've tried Map My Run, I've tried other ones, but I think just Strava generally as a whole package, it's probably just the most simple, most effective running tracking app. But yeah, drop in the comments if you feel different. As always, thank you for watching. Drop any questions and queries in the comments as always. Happy running, and I'll see you all next time.